good afternoon and welcome back to the Fan Zone on this Saturday of the 2023 Lemur National Dressage Championships with me, Sam Lloyd. And of course you can cover everything that's going on with the championships on our various British Dressage channels. That's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and indeed Twitter for all the latest news, reaction, interviews and photographs. Just follow British Dressage. Now at the start of the day I promised we've got some fantastic guests over the weekend and I'm delighted to introduce my next guest here at the Fan Zone. Doesn't really need any introduction whatsoever because she is a true legend of the sport. Please welcome to the Fan Zone, Jennie Loriston-Clarke, MBE. Jennie, welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are we?
It's lovely to be here. Yes, no, I'm fine, thank you.
Good, well it's lovely to have you here at the Fan Zone and first I must start by congratulating you because of course in the lunch break you were awarded the Linda Whetstone Memorial Trophy for outstanding contribution to dressage. Huge congratulations, you must have been thrilled by that. Surprised?
Very surprised, yes, very surprised and thrilled. Yes, the most lovely trophy. I've seen it over the years, and I gather that I was actually awarded it 40 years ago when I was riding Dutch Courage, I think.
Brilliant.
So
oh, that's fantastic.
Yes, it was really uncanny. They put up a picture of Linda actually giving it to me. My top hat and tails, those were the days.
Oh, trip down memory lane.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
How lovely is that? 40 years down the line,
I know.
Here we are again, and you're being awarded it, and rightly so, because you've been such a great ambassador for the sport.
Well, I keep trying. I'm just so thrilled that dressage is top of the world. You know, I never thought in my day, when we were the hunting, shooting and fishing British, you know, and they all laughed at us, that we should come along and beat the lot of them. Well done, all of those great riders, Charlotte, Carl and Gareth. I mean, fantastic to come out there and absolutely wipe their nose with it. That's what I like.
Well, I have to say, I mean, the sport is in a fabulous place, isn't it?
Oh, it is really, and you know, we're also doing very well eventing as well. Let's hope the show jumpers keep it up as well. You know, I mean, we are a nation of horse people.
Yes.
We've been brought up with horses. You know, I was very lucky to have, you know, a father who was so, I mean, he fought in the First World War and the Battle of the Somme with the gun carriages and all that. And you know, he was a real horseman. I mean, he could tame anything. You know, we used to buy wild ponies off the moors and things, and he'd bring them back, chase them off the lorry, you know, and he would tame them.
Wow.
I mean,
that's a skill.
He was amazing. He was like a Monty Roberts before his age, really. And my mum as well. She trained her own circus. She had all her ponies going to bed, blowing out the candle, lying down, you know, and standing on the hind legs and counting. She taught me an awful lot of things. I could still teach a load of horses that now if I tried.
Is that where the inherent love of horses came from your family?
I suppose so. I mean, I was just brought up with it.
Yeah.
It was just something, you know, I loved doing. I loved riding. I loved training animals. I just loved training animals.
And I have to say, it's an incredibly special relationship and partnership between horse and rider, isn't it?
That's what it should be. I was just saying how lovely it was to see Carl today with that horse on Vogue, who's not easy. He's very sensitive and pretty hot, I believe. And I've judged it before when it's had to be eliminated because it wouldn't do anything. It would, you know, be completely cuckoo. And to see it today working in, it's doing the test with him, not because of him. You know, and to me that is self-carriage and partnership between horse and rider. You know, that he's not kicking it into piaffe or anything. He's just indicating it, and the horse is doing it. And
it's nearly like in synergy, isn't it? Unison.
Yes, unison, and that's how dressage should be, really. You know, occasionally you have to make a little correction or whatever, but you know, you should be with your horse, and the horse should be with you, wanting to work with you as a partner, and that's what to me dressage is all about.
Well, here we are at the National Championships. What do the National Championships mean to you personally?
Well, it's always been the sort of climax of the year. It's been I mean, one's always strived to get to the National Championships. I think it is the climax of your year's training and how you've produced your horse or whatever. And I think it's from, grassroots level to Grand Prix. We have a client, who hasn't been doing dressage for long, which she's managed to qualify to get here. She was absolutely thrilled,
I bet.
She got sort of 65, 66% with a odd mistake at advanced medium, and she's a school teacher, or she's head teacher, in a school in, I can't remember whether it's Basingstoke or Reading, I can't remember.
And this is her love,
Yes,
dressage.
Yes, and this is her hobby. And she comes and rides her horse whenever she can. She just keeps it with us, and we look after it when she's busy.
And of course, a beautiful setting and venue of Somerford Park over the last couple of years. And, the championships have just grown and grown over the years, evolved, hasn't it?
Oh, hasn't it? Yes. I mean, well, it wouldn't fit into the Royal Showground like it used to be, would it? No, not now. And I mean, it's a fantastic venue. I can remember years ago, we had a marvellous old man, Mr. Painter, his name was, and he sold his horse to this place after he used to go hunting every day, every Wednesday and Saturday, and he had two horses, and one was called Troy and the other was called Bella, and he used to hunt. He was mad on it, and he was an oldish man. Anyway, he decided that he should hang up his boots, so he sold his horse to somebody here. I don't know who, but Troy ended up here, who was a big black gelding that he went hunting on, and he told me about this place way back, saying it's a fantastic venue, he said, but of course there wasn't any of this then. He said, the horse can hack all round the countryside, and they're going to have all these trackways and things, and they've got lakes and hills and everything. I said, how marvellous, I'm sure Troy will have a lovely time there. And anyway, that I heard about this place, and now look at it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
They've really built it up absolutely amazingly, haven't they?
No, it's absolutely brilliant,
I'm
and
sure
there's such a wonderful atmosphere as well.
Yes, and the way they've set it out this year is different, isn't it, to previous years that I've been, when it's been the other way round slightly. But no, it's all worked very well. I think it's fantastic.
This must be a great opportunity for you to do a bit of spectating, but see old friends, because, as I said, it's a really, as you say, the climax of the season, but it's such an important event, isn't it, for dressage?
Oh, it is, yes. And it's a real social event now too, isn't it? As you say, you meet so many people. I mean, I haven't been out for a long time, really, for various things, but it's been lovely to meet so many people today that I haven't seen for years.
I mean, just looking at your career, Jennie, represented GB at 5 Olympic Games, won bronze at the World Championships in 1978. The same year you became a Fellow of the British Horse Society. You're a renowned trainer and judge, passionate supporter as well of British bred horses, a chair of British Dressage in 2007, chef to keep of the junior and young rider team for many years. You've done it all. Your heart is so embedded in this sport.
Yes.
It's been a phenomenal career.
Yes, it has. Yes, I suppose it has really. But it was lovely to see, like, Andrew Gould riding today, who was on the junior and young rider team when I was chef to keep. We had all those trips abroad with our horses, and then my daughter was on the team sometimes, and so on. I mean, it's lovely to see Lara Griffiths, Lara Butler, she is now, and Laura Tomlinson, Beckelsheimer. We were all on the team. They were all on the teams, various places, and it's so nice to see them all doing so well. Sarah Millis is another one, and I don't know, she's riding here today, but all the others virtually are. and it's just great to see how everybody's working up. You know, sometimes they're just a flash in the pan, and it's lovely to see them progressing.
Because, of course, this year is an incredibly significant year for the sport, with it being 25 years of British dressage and lots of celebrations going into the autumn. But in all your wearing your different hats, in all your different roles and responsibilities, you must have some tremendous memories.
Yes, I do. I'll tell you some funny ones.
Oh, tell us some funny stories. That's what I want.
Well, we nearly got kidnapped once.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that.
That was quite exciting, I tell you. Well, luckily my husband was with me then. We were on a trip. I can't remember quite whether it was in Costa Rica or one of those places down there. And we were doing this FEI challenge when the judges went and they judged one day, everybody, and then the next day they did training for those that have been competing and so on. And anyway, we often were taken sort of on a trip, you know, by the whatever country you went to. I've even been to Russia, for God's sake. Yes, bloody awful place. But yes, well, the place is all right. It's that man at the top that wants. Well, I'll shut up. But no, yes, we went shopping. You see, we were taken to this place where they did a lot of, you know, made jumpers and things, beautiful handmade things that we went to take home, you know, to our friends at home and say where we'd been and things. So we went and bought various bits and pieces at this sort of, it's by the roadside, I mean literally by the roadside. So we went and bought a load of stuff and put it in the back of this van we were in. And we had a driver, you know, national driver of whoever. I'm sure it was Costa Rica, it was, I think. And anyway, then we were driving on, and they stopped us halfway down the road and said, "Oh, you must go that way. There's a demonstration somewhere further on." So the driver went off this way, and anyway, we were suddenly stopped by somebody shot at the driver.
Shot at the driver?
At the driver.
Wow.
Which shattered the windscreen, but it didn't go right through. Which if it had been a proper shot, it would have killed him, obviously. But anyway, so Anthony and I were sitting sort of pretty near the back of this van, and we had Ermeli Suominen from Finland, who's another judge with me, and I think something from the FEI, somebody from the FEI, I can't remember her name. But anyway, they were sitting in the front, and anyway, they opened up the thing and said, "Out, out," you know, and so they started. Oh yes, and we also had some people from Mexico who were sort of rather rich, with every sort of jewel you could think of on them, you know, and rings and necklaces and everything else. They ripped them off them, and took all the jewellery they could, and off these rich people. Well, luckily I hadn't got any anyway. And Anthony had a what's it belt, a money belt, right, you know, around his neck. So he surreptitiously undid that and slipped it down the back of the seat, you see. And anyway, they went off with Ermeli and my handbags, which were under the seat, because they opened up the back as well. So they went off with our handbags and disappeared. And of course, the driver was rather shaken, and we were all told to get out of the van. And luckily, a bus came round the corner, coming the other way, and all these people disappeared off, luckily dropping our handbags. Eventually we found them a bit further in the bush, well, Ermeli and you know, we were all quite shaken up, you know. And Anthony looked at the windscreen. He said, "Oh, that has been hit by sand, that's not a bullet." Well, he knows about these things. I wouldn't have a clue, but he said that's a sand thing, so that's been specially made so that it didn't kill the driver. So anyway, we eventually sort of got ourselves together. I was thinking, gosh, how do I do, you know, SOS by smoke or something. I was thinking of all the things I should be doing to get rescued, you know, and Emily was very shocked. She was a lovely lady, but not used to knocking about much. I didn't say. And so anyway, we had to sort of comfort her because she was sort of shaking like a jelly. I said, come on, we'll be all right, you know. And anyway, they'd all disappeared off into the bush. And so I said, let's hunt around and see if we can just find our bags, you know. So anyway, we did eventually, only not far off the road, were our handbags sort of tipped up and things thrown about, but we managed to sort of grab what we could. And then, you know, we said to the driver, can you drive? Well, the windscreen wasn't that, so badly shattered that he could drive, you know, through it. It wasn't completely starred up like, you know, it would be. So anyway, he drove on carefully with us, and we sort of filtered home to this, to our hotel. And I rang home and said, you know, whatever you do, you know, I'm not sure if I've got all my cards. Can you stop everything and things? And Emily rang her bank, I think, and she said, you know, they said, oh, nothing's been taken from you. Well, I hadn't a clue because I wouldn't know how to find out anyway, in the bush somewhere or in some foreign country. So anyway, that was sort of all right, and we sort of had a drink and recovered vaguely. And then we came to go home, and Emily wanted to do some shopping in the airport, and she went to, and she actually bought rather a nice coat, you know, and some things which obviously cost, you know, a certain amount of money. Anyway, her bank card wouldn't work, and we thought, oh my gosh, you know, she said it won't pay for this, and I said, well, can I help, you know? And she said, oh no, I wouldn't want you to, you know. So she wouldn't let me buy it for her or whatever, and we can settle up later. But no, so anyway, she got on to we had to go. That's right, we had to go. So to get on the aircraft. So we went off and were talking about this her card not working. So we got to the next, I don't know, we had to change planes or something. So we got to the next airport somewhere, I can't remember which one. And she rang up again, and they said, no, we've stopped your card because you've gone off to the underground and you've bought, I don't know, 20 pizzas or whatever, or something it had been used for. And she said, you know, wasn't her scene at all. So
the bank knew her as a character.
The bank knew her as a person that she would not be in the underground buying pizzas or hot dogs or whatever.
Frightening.
So they'd stopped her. They'd actually stopped the bank card. And then we went on, and I tried to buy something in the next airport. I think it was only a few belts or something, and my card wouldn't work either. So I thought, oh well, there's not much money in the bank anyway, so, I'll have to go without. And that was all fine. We get back, and we find that they'd also tried my card, and I don't know how the hell they got hold of it, because I still had it. And they must have copied it very quickly or something somehow. How that happened, I don't know. But anyway, then of course you have to have complete new cards, you know, and everything else.
But you were safe and sound.
But I was all right. Yes. And then we had another incident. That was in Peru, when I was again doing this trip for the FEI, and I can't remember whether Anthony was with me. I don't think Anthony was there that time. I think it was me, and I think this other Finnish man who was rather odd. But anyway, I can't remember his name, luckily. But anyway, he was a bit strange. But we went to dinner, and oh yes, I went to see another in the hotel was this little place selling trinkets and this and that. And again, I wanted to take something home for kids and all that. And so I bought things in a little bag to put them in and that sort of thing. And then we went to dinner, and it said that it would be open till 8 o'clock at night. Well, this was only about 6:30, you see. So we went into to supper, and I turned to this chap and I said, "That's funny that that place is shut. It doesn't, you know, it says it's going to be open till 8 o'clock. I wonder why it's shut suddenly." So anyway, we went and had supper and everything else, and I didn't do much, but they were terribly polite. The boy was very polite, spoke brilliant English, you know, and oh yes, I've been to Brighton and all this, that and the other, and I thought, oh yes, you know your stuff a little bit, and he was awfully nice, but I just thought it was rather odd. Didn't think much of it, and anyway, we got to checking out in the hotel, and my card wouldn't work.
It's a bit of a theme here,
Yeah,
Jenny.
absolutely, my card wouldn't work. You see, and I'd bought, you know, drinks or something. It wasn't a lot. So anyway, I said, "That's very odd." You know, I couldn't understand it, and I said at the counter, I said, "It's funny." I said, "Why did that shop round the corner shut so early last night or something?" And they said, "Oh, did it?" I said, "Yes, it did. It shut about 6:45. It says it's going to be open till 8. And they said, "Oh, that's interesting," and didn't think much of it. Anyway, I managed to pay by cash or something, and so off I went. And then I got home, and I got this telephone call from the hotel saying, "Can you help us?" I said, well, what on earth about? And they said, "You had difficulty paying at the kiosk, at the counter." And I said, "Oh yes." I said, "My bank card seemed to have been compromised," and they said, "Yes, it's not the first time." And so I said, "Well, what's that kiosk around the corner that's, you know, selling bags and trinkets and things?" And they said, "Oh, well, they're not there anymore." I said, "Well, I think that's your answer then."
Oh, dearie me.
And evidently they'd been in about 5 hotels and the same thing had happened.
Wow.
In Peru, in whatever the centre of Peru is, I can't think of it now.
You must have, I mean, obviously you're alluding to this. You've done so much travelling, haven't you?
Yes,
With this
I've
sport.
oh yes, it's great. Well, it's so lovely to see so many different countries. I mean, it has been amazing, and people are so kind, and I've had such fun, you know, and learnt so much from, well, different judges, seeing different horses, judging in different countries, you know, Australia, Japan. I've been to, or as well as Europe, of course, America.
And you must be so excited with the success. I mean, we only have to reflect on last week and the Europeans, which were just thrilling, weren't they? You know?
I wish I could have seen it. God, it was amazing, isn't it? I mean, it's so marvellous to see everybody doing so well, and in such, everything looks so harmonious, which is what I'm saying, you know, about like Carl today, you know, that horse. I didn't see him on the other one that he rode last week, but you know, this On Vogue, who I know isn't easy, was so lovely today. So, you know, there was some very nice tests, not only with Carl but from other people, you know. So it was really encouraging to see it.
And of course, it's a very special year with 25 years of British Dressage. And just to let you know about the British Dressage National Convention, which will take place at Addington Equestrian on the 25th and 26th of November. Will you be there?
Oh, I hope so.
I hope you'll be there. It's going to be 2 phenomenal days. Charlotte Dujardin is headlining the event. There's lots going on. And I can tell you that tickets are available through the British Dressage website. Don't delay. Those tickets are going to be hot property. So if you are interested, I get them as soon as possible. Jenny, I could talk to you all day. Because it's phenomenal to have you as part of our fan zone. Thanks for giving us that little bit of history and a trip down memory lane.
Trip down memory lane.
Love that. And what you've done, a true ambassador for the sport. And huge congratulations on being the recipient of the Linda Whetstone Memorial Trophy for outstanding contribution.
Well,
Can't think of a lady more suited or apt.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honour anyway. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. That was Jennie Loriston-Clarke, MBE. A trip down memory lane, of course. a very important year for the sport. 25 years of a British dressage. Well, it is Saturday. The weather's holding up. We're seeing some fantastic stuff already in terms of the competition, and we'll have a very, very special guest later this afternoon. So hope you can join me then.